Chapter 22. Revenge of the Whole Army. Dafengang, the land of a huge valley. A stench came from it, countless living rubbish, all put in here. Big Fungang operates casinos. Customer flow is huge, naturally generates countless rubbish. A body in the fighting arena, also all put in here. At this moment, in the valley, it was piled up like a mountain. This is the most abandoned place for the disciples of the Dafengang, but it is a paradise for rats. An endless stream of rats live here, running around in the valley, emitting squeaky sounds. A dozen or so Great Abundance Gang disciples were currently covering their noses and looking within the valley in disgust. Senior brother, why are we the ones catching rats again? It's too disgusting, catching them for the wicked people to eat. Where's all the nonsense? How can those evil people eat it? I want to vomit just looking at it. Evil people, just don't treat them like human beings, won't you? I've never treated them as people. As long as the wicked people who died in the Colosseum, we can put them all here. For the rats to eat. The rats eat the meat of the villains, and then give the villains rats to eat. It's a cycle. It's really not a waste. Ha 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 ha. So wouldn't it be fine for you to treat those wicked people as rats? Ha 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 ha. A group of rat-catching Dafengang disciples were in the middle of a happy conversation. Vomit. Steeply, a gagging sound came from behind the group of Great Abundance Gang disciples. A cycle. Cluck 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 cluck. Cluck 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 cluck. Good and good. Cluck 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 cluck. Vomit, vomit. An eerie sound came from behind the crowd of Dafengang disciples. The crowd of evil people used to eat rats, already disgusting enough, eventually adapted. But who would have thought that these rats are cultivated with the meat of other evil people? Not chilling, all of the people were nauseated all over. By Chang, His Excellency told us to capture the Dafengang disciples and not to kill them. We were imprisoned in the Colosseum in the past, so let them taste the cruelty of the Colosseum as well. Originally, I was in favor of this, but after hearing this, I've changed my mind a little bit. Yes, Chief Bai. Other Dafengang disciples, we can arrest them. These dozen, I can't help it. I'm going to waste them, pick off their hamstrings and tendons, throw them into this valley and feed them to the rats. Damn it, I can't help it. I can't help it either, Captain Bai. You guys, you're the villains of the evil valley. Why did you come out? So many of you. How? Want to die? You guys. How do the guards of the wicked valley keep watch? HMPH. Everyone kneel down, or I'll throw you into the rat pit. The dozen or so Great Fengang disciples had yet to realize the severity of the problem. The leader, Abai Chang, also vomited for a while, his face grim, as he looked at the dozen or so rat catchers on the Lord's side. I'll go and ask for punishment, dispose of them, Bai Chang said in a cold voice. Yes, boom. The 100 villains immediately swarmed up and charged straight at the group of Dafengang disciples. What? Their cultivation has recovered. Great Abundance Gang, inner area of the gang. Kill. Assholes, someone, rumble. The four directions were filled with the sound of rushing and killing as the wicked came out of their cages and went on a rampage in the inner area of the gang. In the inner area of the gang, most of the Dafengang disciples had gone to the Colosseum area, leaving only a small half behind, facing the 3,000 villains. Where could they resist? The 3,000 wicked people had accumulated countless grievances, and in an instant, they exploded out. It was boundless resentment, endless power, escape. There was no escape. Where to escape? Don't come over. Evil people out. Kill. Give me dead rats every day. You go to hell. At this moment, Guhai was quietly standing on top of the plaza of the Great Abundance Gang's main hall, overlooking the rain and fog-shrouded surroundings. For the battles in all directions, it was ignored because it was all ordered by Guhai. In just 1 hour of fighting, The Great Abundance gang disciples in the inner area of the gang were all wiped out, with a portion of them being restrained and escorted. The evil man has come out. The evil man has come out. A crowd of restrained people shouted in alarm. Shut up. Whoever talks more will be sorted immediately, Scar said with a glare in his eyes. Woo-woo. My lord, there are about 500 people, all restrained, Gao Xianzi solemnly said. Earth Ministry, leave 500 people to guard them, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes, Chen Chonchen answered. Everyone else, follow me to the Colosseum, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes, everyone answered. At this moment, everyone had changed into black robes and followed Gu Hai towards the gambling area with their swords and bows. With Gu Hai as the leader, the 2,500 villains walked slowly in the heavy rain. The sound of the Evil Man Valley, the sound of the inner area of the gang, although it was very big, but in this heavy rain pouring down the smoggy Defengang, it failed to attract the attention of other places. This was because the attention of everyone else elsewhere was all focused on the Colosseum. The noise caused by Gu Hai and his party earlier was only the sound of the battle at the innate realm and Jindan realm, but the Colosseum was home to two strong players at the Yuaning realm. There are a lot of people braving the rain quietly close to explore. The place of the Colosseum has become the center of attention for all the people in the four directions. There were thousands of Dafeng gang disciples, but there were more than 10,000 gamblers and guests. The arena was getting more and more lively. However, the cultivators of the four directions did not get too close. Some of the Great Abundance gang disciples went to the four barriers to stop the four directions cultivators from entering the gambling area now, but standing far away, one might not be able to see clearly. Many cultivators stood on top of a mountain peak, staring at the battle in the center of the arena. On top of one of the mountain peaks, at this moment, there stood a white-robed young man with four subordinates standing behind him in general. Cough, cough, cough. The white-robed young man continuously coughed and covered his mouth with a handkerchief. His eyes slightly narrowed as he looked at the distant Colosseum. This white-robed man was not someone else. It was the sickly young man who had reprimanded the false Ninth Prince together with the Grand Elder in the innate remnant realm. Ninth Prince. That person is actually called Meng Tai. A black-clothed subordinate behind him said in surprise. Didn't Meng Tai die in our small world? Would it be possible to rename him? Another black-robed person was surprised. The Ninth Prince covered his mouth and coughed for a while. A sinister smile appeared on his face and said, "It's really getting more and more lively. Demons and monsters, all jumping out. Now that's interesting." Cough, cough, cough. On the viewing platform of the Colosseum, a large number of Dafeng gang disciples had gathered. At this moment, they were all staring at the arena. Boom, rumble. A loud noise came out from within the beast fighting arena. Meng Tai, you really know how to play dead. Just now, in order for me to save you Yao, you were kicked by me and collapsed in a pool of blood. You're really pretending, aren't you? However, don't let you pretend. I will definitely save you Yao. She's wine chime, not your Yu Yao. She's my wine chime, I said. She's Yu Yao. She's Yu Yao. Boom, boom, boom. There was a series of loud bangs, as if a giant thunderbolt had exploded. The entire Colosseum was filled with booming sounds. There were a large number of formations around the Colosseum, which led to the Colosseum being sturdy and incomparable. Inside, Windbell stood in the corner, her hands covering her head, her face showing pain, her figure trembling as if she was struggling with something. Inside the Colosseum, a furious aura raged, but it avoided Windbell time and time again. Who am I? I am Yu Yao. I am Yu Yao. I'm Brother Li Wei's woman. Who am I? Windbell covered her head amidst the pain, the other half. True dragon innate kung fu. Rumble. The sword chi was fierce and too fast, and it instantly chopped at Meng Tai's body. Arm. The earth-colored true dragon let out a miserable cry, and Meng Tai instantly crashed and flew out, with a large number of wounds appearing on his body once again. Boom! Meng Tai crashed on top of the wall. However, Meng Tai immediately climbed up and once again looked at Li Wei with a fierce face. With a stamp of his foot, rumble, a ground spike emerged from the ground and headed straight towards Li Wei. Break! Li Wei blasted his fist on the ground. Boom! A large number of ground thorns burst apart, shooting in all directions and rushing into the sky, filling the sky with falling debris. Meng Tai, you Yuanying realm, I'm already too. Yes, I'm not as good as you even if I desperately cultivate. Since I was a child, I've never won against you. However, you've been imprisoned for 20 years. 20 years. You've already run out of energy. Yu Yao is mine. You don't want to interfere either. Li Wei coldly said. Bear Yin. Li Wei pulled out a long sword and instantly chopped towards Meng Tai. Bear Yin, boom. Hundreds of sword rains shot in, instantly sealing off all of Meng Tai's parts in general, leaving Meng Tai with nowhere to escape. Bad. A large amount of sword chi inserted into Meng Tai's body. This time, Meng Tai didn't hide. Instead, he rushed up with a grimace on his face. A fist blasted Li Wei's chest. Boom. Bear. Li Wei was sent flying, but the longsword, however, stabbed a hole through Meng Tai. Pfft! Meng Tai spat out blood from his mouth, covering the sword hole in his chest. His face was in an ugly state. On the other side, Li Wei slowly climbed up. Poof! Li Wei spat out a mouthful of blood and stared at Meng Tai with a grimace on his face. Come on again. I'll see how many more swords you can take from me. Cough, cough, cough. Meng Tai coughed out mouthfuls of blood. The battle between the two men in the arena was extremely tragic. Meng Tai's defeat was already apparent, and it seemed like he wouldn't be able to last much longer. Winbao covered her head, not daring to look at the two men fighting. The pain was incomparable. Around them, a group of great Feng Gang disciples frowned as they watched. Elder, should we help the Help Master? Elder, that person seems to be the previous Grand Gang Master. Elder brother, should we make a move? There at the Yuanying realm, the combat air currents around that can tear you apart. Are you going to go and seek death? I'm not going. This is playing with my life. The Great Abundance Gang disciples frowned, but in the end, no one went forward. At this moment, the 2,500 black-robed men that slowly came from the inner area of the gang slowly took up a position. The crowd of black-robed men were extremely respectful as they surrounded Gu Hai to the center, vacating a little distance back. Gu Hai slowly stepped onto a high platform and looked down on the four directions. Gao Xianzi's face changed and said, My lord, the environment here is a bit off. Besides the Dafeng Ang disciples, there are also gamblers from the four directions of the Thousand Islands Sea all around. Eyeballing it, there could be close to 10,000 people occupying the four directions mountain peaks. This, Chen Chonchen said with an ugly face. Don't worry about them. They won't help the Dafeng Ang disciples. Scar. A cold smile appeared at the corner of Gu Hai's mouth and said, Scar answered, outside the Colosseum, there is a portion of the Great Abundance Gang disciples who are blocking the gamblers from approaching the Colosseum. These people, you, Zwanbu, will take care of them. Do it cleanly. I don't like it to be too noisy. Gu Hai commanded. Yes, Scar answered. Wow. At once, Scar scurried into the forest with hundreds of black-robed men. Gao Xianzi, however, flashed a trace of worry in her eyes and whispered to Gu Hai, My lord, I know that this group of gamblers can't possibly help the Dafeng Gang's disciples. I'm just worried that our next battle will not reveal your identity. After all, countless cultivators had been looking for Gu Hai since a few months ago and had been hiding. Countless cultivators had no way out. But now that they appeared in a high profile, what if they were discovered? It's fine. I should show up. Want to hit me? Let's see if they have that ability, Gu Hai said in a cold and confident voice. Yes, my subordinate was overthinking, Gao Xianzi nodded.